Vicky Marie. Another impromptu live. Sorry to keep catching you out like I do. Let me just take off. So, anyway, now, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you, as usual, to all of my subscribers. Thank you if you've liked my videos. Special thanks to my members. Tonight at 8 o'clock Spanish time is Members Live, exclusive Members Live, and we're going to be talking about something that I thought would be quite straightforward, but it's turned out to be, everything's a rabbit hole these days, isn't it? So we're going to be talking about something completely different later than true crime. We're going to be talking about Strictly Come Dancing and all the intrigue that's going on, and has bullying taken place, or is it, you know, just example of people being snowflakes? Some people are saying, you know, I really don't know. I'm sort of a bit on the fence with this. You know, have these celebrities really been bullied, or, you know, are they just trying to attract attention? You know, what is the truth behind it? And the more you look into it, the more complicated it gets. And apparently there's another two people. Excuse me, another two people. Another person being investigated. So God, they'll have no dancers left, will they? They'll have no star dancers left. So who knows what the truth is as that, but that's what we're going to look at tonight in the Members Live. Let me just take the banner off. So, but what I thought I would do, because obviously that's members only, so I like to give a video for all my subscribers, normally twice a day. You know, I aim towards doing 2 videos a day, be it a live or be it a recording, one in the morning sort of time and one in the evening time. That's what I sort of aim towards. I don't always make it like that, but because tonight's members only later, I thought I'd like to do a video for non-members as well. So, and also it's something that's important, that I've been thinking, I think is very important after the Jay Slater case. Now, of course, the Jay Slater case, let me take that, sorry, just take that picture off a minute so that you can see it is me, it's me, Vicky Marie. So, of course, the Jay Slater case has taken a lot of attention. It's got all our minds are on sort of missing people going missing, and young men at the moment especially. So this morning I was letting you know that Caleb Harris, who went missing ages ago in Corpus Christi in America, has been now formally identified as being the body that's been found in that really peculiar place, but it's not clear, you know, whether it's a homicide. They're saying it's not, there's no evidence of foul play, but, you know, he's so deteriorated in water, very difficult to prove, I would imagine. So there's that case sort of on the back burner now. It's been positively identified as Caleb, and it's just a matter of letting the investigation take its course. What did happen to Caleb? And of course, then we covered Jay Slater. Jay, unfortunately, now is a bit of, whichever way you look at it, he's been recovered, which is good, but unfortunately he was deceased, so that's not so good. And he's going to be repatriated, and there'll be, I expect, a very big send-off for Jay, just for his age, and, you know, it will, and the number of people that will want to go. It'll be a hell of a send-off, I would imagine, but of course it won't compensate for the fact that a 19-year-old boy has died. And then sort of lost in the middle of everything. So I wanted to bring up this case of Jack O'Sullivan, because I have mentioned it, I've done videos about it before, but I don't, you know, it hasn't had the same media attention that Jay Slater received, or even that Riley Strain received over in Tennessee, or that Caleb Harris received. Some cases, for some unknown reason, become high profile and others don't. And even though, you know, very similar with Jack O'Sullivan, a young lad went missing on his way home from a night out. Why has that not received the same attention? It's quite odd, really, isn't it? What is that? I wonder that makes that. Is it because of the family itself? You know, we're going to listen to some. Read some interviews with the mother who's sort of saying, is it because she hasn't done enough to raise awareness? You know, there's lots of reasons why it might be. You know, some families are quieter than others. Maybe you do need to raise a big stir on social media, you know, to get the attention. And maybe even though a lot of it, of course, with Jay Slater was negative attention because it was all the conspiracy theories that are still going on. You know, people just can't leave things alone, you know, and just let him rest, if you like, and let his parents, let his family just get on with it. You know, anyway, so maybe that's why, you know, because Jack's family haven't taken social media to say things. You know, I don't know, maybe people don't think the circumstances of Jack's disappearance is mysterious enough. You know, I don't know what the reason is, but let me just put that picture back up. So this is Jack in the middle, where it must have been when he was graduating. That's his proud mum and dad, and they're still waiting for news of their son, you know, and they've been waiting a long time. So that's what we're going to look at in this video. Now, there's been, of course, there's another young man gone missing now in Sardinia. I'm not going to be covering that case. I've made a decision on it for a couple of reasons. One, because I don't know anything about Sardinia. I mean, part of the reason why I started to cover Jay Slater case was because it was in Spain. I don't know anything about Sardinia. I'm sure other YouTubers will cover it. The other thing is, I don't think I can stand, much as I sort of, in a very weird way, miss Paul Arnott's update on things, you know, the guy that we were following, and he's gone over to Sardinia, of course. I mean, I did watch a couple of his videos. He's already, oh my God, it's already a nightmare, guys. You know, he's missed the bus, or it took him 32 hours to get from one place to another. You know, it's already going the same way as it went with Jay Slater. But I decided I'm not going to be covering that. So, you know, sorry, but unless I get a big clamour from all from my subscribers to watch it. But you know, I'm going to concentrate on the other cases that we've already got in process. And as far as spotlighting missing young men, if you like, are concerned, I'm going to spotlight Jack O'Sullivan. I'm going to try and put him more in the spotlight and see, you know, what has happened to him. Where is he? He can't, as we always say, cannot have disappeared into thin air. Just impossible. Hi, David. I think it's just you at the moment. Hello, me and you. It's just me and you, David, at the moment. I think I've caught everyone out again, as I always do. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So hello to replay crew. If you're watching this on replay, hello. And just don't forget to like, please. Thank you. So let's have a look. I don't know what you remember about Jack's case. As I say, I have spoken about it before, but it just doesn't seem to be in the media the same, does it? Maybe that's why people don't get so, what's the word? I mean, of course, Mark Williams Twonk hasn't got involved in it yet. Not enough money in it yet for him. You know, I suppose once it starts becoming more high profile. Now, the reason that it's come up in on Sky News again, and the Sky News have covered it, but I suppose it just hasn't got the traction. You know, it's like what I was saying the other day. Mainstream media, what they do is they'll put out a story and they see how much traction it gets, how much interest is in it. More interest. So I suppose it's just like YouTube, really. The more interest it gets, the more they do stories about it. You know, and maybe Jack's story just didn't attract that much attention, or maybe there was other things. Sometimes it depends what other news is going on at the time. So when was the actual, this article is the 3rd of July, but he's been missing since March. So again, a long time, a few months. Where is he? And apparently massive searches. And in fact, when those the remains of the 2 men were found in Bristol on the suspension bridge, that must have immediately jumped to the police's mind, because when they look what high profile missing persons do they have, they will have instantly thought of Jack. But of course, there were 2 sets of remains in those suitcases. So very quickly, the police got in touch with Jack's parents and said they did not think it was connected. Because Jack's parents' hearts must have sunk, when they heard about that, because, if you're missing your son, if you lost your son or daughter or loved one, and then a body turns up anyway, you're bound to think, your first thought will be, is that them? So, of course, then Jay Slater happened, the Jay Slater went missing. And this apparently this article was written because this has brought everything back for Jack's mother, Catherine O'Sullivan. So I've decided I'm going to really concentrate on this case. I don't know loads about it. Hi, Fragaria. I mean, I know a fair amount about it because I've done videos about it at all, but I probably haven't done a very deep dive into it. So I am going to be concentrating on this. I'm going to make this like a priority until Jack is found. We're going to pray for him. We're going to pray for his parents. We're going to do what we can. And, you never know. One day somebody might be watching who's from that area, just knows something, just remembers something. That's just what we've got hope for, isn't it? So Jay Slater coverage has brought everything back for the mother of the man last seen in Bristol. And Catherine O'Sullivan told Sky News she has been in hell ever since her son's disappearance after a night out in Bristol. So it was one of those, wasn't it? One of those night out at a party, probably had too much to drink. Has he fallen in a river, or, I think they've searched all the rivers. But anyway, what's happened to him? And he was texting his mum, talking about getting a taxi. He lived at his parents' house. So he was texting, and then suddenly, boom. So they're talking to all the taxi drivers, because as far as they know, that was the last thing that he said he was going to do, was get a taxi. So the mother of a young man missing for more than 4 months has said the recent coverage of Jay Slater's disappearance has brought everything back. Catherine O'Sullivan's 23-year-old son Jack has been missing from the Hot Wells area of Bristol since March. The 52-year-old, originally from Neath in South Wales, said she sympathised with Jay Slater's mother, who yesterday said words could not describe the pain and the agony she was feeling. And, well, you can just imagine it, can't you? Or you can't imagine it, but you don't want to imagine it. My heart goes out to anybody in this situation. It's unimaginable, Mrs. O'Sullivan said. From her mother's perspective, that poor lady in Tenerife, she must be in hell, because I know I am. I'm not going to go into the Jay Slater videos because we've watched, nearly all the coverage, haven't we, about Jay. Now, the thing is, she'll really feel for Jay's mum, because Jay's mum and dad had to uproot themselves and their son and family and friends to go to a foreign country as well and deal with everything in a foreign language, with no information whatsoever from the police, because the police don't give information, even if they did speak the language. Whereas at least Jack's mum, Catherine, she is in the UK. So that's about the only consolation, isn't it? So what on earth has happened? He's now been missing for 123 days. And in May, police appealed to more than 1,000 taxi drivers for any footage they may have of him. Every day it gets harder, his mother told Sky News. We're in a living nightmare. It's difficult to put it into words, to be fair. It's just an extraordinary situation where we're just not getting any answers. We're not getting any closer to finding out what on earth has happened, she added. There he is, dressed up for probably his graduation, or I don't know, but in his dicky bow, etc. Bless. So Mrs. O'Sullivan added, when you see the amount of coverage and appeals about Jay, you wonder, should we be doing more? Should we have done more? Well, I don't know if she'll end up watching this, but Catherine, really, if there's anything you ever want me to publicise or, I don't know, say, or if the more coverage, I've only got a small YouTube channel, but, you just never know, do you? The more coverage, the better. So yeah, you wonder, should we be doing more? Should we have done more? It does ask questions of us, because initially we were in the hands of the police and just were very accepting that everything we were told was being done was actually being done. It's just that as time's gone on, we realise that things have been missed and not done as thoroughly as we thought they were. So that's an interesting statement. And funnily enough, just under there, we've got this where in June, Jay, we will have a look at this, because Jay's dad was questioning the police communication, wasn't he? Which must have been so frustrating. I honestly understand how he felt, but that sometimes, like Catherine saying there, we realise things have been missed. I mean, but have they been missed? Do they know the full information? That's the only thing I'd say there. I'm sure the British police as well, they're not as secretive as the Spanish police, but I'm sure there's things they're keeping back.
Nobody's told us, so the mountain police, brilliant, but I don't know how the other police work. They could be doing everything, but if they are doing, they're not telling us what they're doing, if you understand what I'm saying.
So I don't know if you could hear Warren very well there, and maybe you couldn't understand his accent because he's got a very thick northern accent. But the thing is, he was saying that the mountain police had been brilliant, but the Guardia Civil, he doesn't know how they normally work, and they haven't been telling him anything. That is the Guardia Civil. They're taciturn. They don't say anything. They don't respond well to being questioned too much either. So, it's just, boom, it's like a wall of silence. That's how they are, but it's not that they're not efficient, because they are efficient, but they keep things very tightly under wraps. Anyway, so Catherine said it's painful to be without the life and the soul of the house. Hi, Chumba. So, yeah, I would imagine if... if he lived at home, he's their last son at home. They've got 2 sons, I think. We're going to look at what his brother's got to say in a moment. But yeah, it's like now it's just, it must feel sort of very empty in the house, just going from one minute. Jack was there, living there, and all, all the good and bad things about having a sort of young adult live in your house. It's sort of like, yeah, it's irritating because you have to do a lot of cleaning and things. But, it's nice because they bring an energy into your house, don't they? That wouldn't be there if they weren't there. Then you'd be getting that empty nest syndrome, etc. But, yeah, he's not there. So it just must be awful. And even worse, it's not like he's just gone to live somewhere else, or even that he's passed and they know that he has. They don't know where he is. They have no clue. He could walk in the house tomorrow, or they may never find out their whole life what has happened to him. So it's just horrible, isn't it? So he was 22 at the time of his disappearance, and he was last seen on Saturday, the 2nd of March, on his way home after a night out with friends. And the last confirmed sighting of him For any of you know Bristol, which I don't really very well. Bristol is in the south of England, for anybody who doesn't know that. So the last confirmed sighting of him was at 3:13 a.m. on a grass area at the junction of Brunel Lotway and Brunel Way in Bristol. Then there are a further 2 sightings believed to be of him at around 3:25 a.m. and another at 3:38 a.m. So here he is. I don't think they've got, or I don't think I've seen, I could be wrong, I need to look for it maybe for the next video. I don't know if there's actual CCTV, moving CCTV. And the final sighting is on the Bennett Way slip road on the northern side of the River Avon. So he was near a river. That's always a bad sign, I think, and then you think, well, was he thinking of deleting himself, or was he so close to the river he fell in like Riley did, Riley Strain? There's so many possibilities. So he's around 5 feet 10 inches tall. He's described as white with short brown hair. He was last seen wearing a green and brown quilted Barber jacket, beige woolen jumper, navy chinos, brown shoes with a white sole. Outwardly, to a lot of people, he'd be quite quiet, quite shy, really, Mrs. O'Sullivan said. Not a very outspoken person, but behind the scenes at home, he's the complete opposite, the life and soul of the house. So it sounds like he's a little bit shy. A sport fanatic. He really, really loves his sport, loves his football. He's a Manchester United fan, which is a shame. Of course, most Manchester United fans don't even come from Manchester. Oh God, my nephews would go mad if they heard me saying that. But, that's the standing joke, isn't it? If they're a Manchester United fan, they're probably not from Manchester. Loves his golf, loves tennis, and he's really clever, very ambitious, very driven. By anything he does, it has to be perfection. And she said the house was an extraordinary place to be without him. She said, it's the place I want to be because every part of it is filled with Jack. But it's very hard to live on a day-to-day basis. Seeing everything remains in the same spot. And that's the way it has to be. I'm not going to change that, but it's painful. Yeah, when my best friend, when I was 19, when she died, her mum kept her room. It was like a shrine. She never moved, anything never changed. I mean, she knew what had happened to her because she died in a traffic accident. But yeah, you would just keep their room exactly the same because you'd just be hoping one day they might walk back through the door. Now, my friend wasn't going to walk back through the door, but I don't know, I moved away then eventually, so I don't know, what happened to my friend's mum, how long she kept the room like that for, but she was absolutely distraught. Anyway, there's a £20,000 reward on offer as the anguish continues. A website called Find Jack Sullivan, I'll have a look at that in a minute, has been set up with the aim of finding any information. And the website says that Mr. O'Sullivan's phone has not been found, but its location was traced to an address on Granbury Hill, where it remained live on the network until 6:44 a.m. on the day he disappeared. And a £20,000 reward has been offered for information which directly leads to Mr. O'Sullivan being brought home. So there he is. That's Jack. Where is he? Avon and Somerset Police said its investigation into Mr. O'Sullivan's disappearance has been extensive. This investigation has included reviewing and re-reviewing more than 100 hours of CCTV footage, carrying out expert-led searches by land and water, involving multiple teams and issuing multiple appeals to the public and media for information, the force said. The police added, we're continuing to seek further guidance and support from national experts, including an oceanographer, and will be following any advice they offer. Wonder what an oceanographer could do. I'm gonna have to look up what an oceanographer is as well then. I'll do that in a moment. Sadly, despite the efforts carried out to date, we've been unable to find Jack. We fully recognise the distress and anguish this has had on Jack's family, and our thoughts remain very much with them. So I'll just leave that picture up of Jack a minute and let's just see. What would an oceanographer do? Are they saying that they think he may have been swept out to sea? Ocean. Yeah, an oceanographer studies the ocean. Marine life, ecosystems, ocean circulation, plate tectonics, and the geology of the seafloor, and the chemical and physical properties of the ocean. So they thinking he may have gone into the river and been swept out to the ocean. So, yeah, because apparently physical, let's have a look at this. Physical oceanographers study the physical conditions and the physical processes within the ocean, such as waves, currents, eddies, gyres and tides, the transport of sand, often on beaches, coastal erosion. So that must be just in case he has been swept out to sea then, if they think he may have gone into the river. That's the River Avon, isn't it? So, you know, it's a possibility, I suppose. Hi, Nick Nats. Yeah, I think it's the currents Fragaria, I think. So that's interesting. Okay, what was the other thing I was gonna look up something else. So the website. Oh, that's his. I was gonna look up Jack O'Sullivan website as well. Are you tired? Oh, Princess Tia, she's next to me. She's yawning. Okay, let's have a look at this. Find Jack. Have you seen Jack O'Sullivan? Yeah, you're right, Chumber. He does sort of look familiar, doesn't he? But so he's 22 when he went missing. He's 23 now, so he's had a birthday, bless him, while he's been missing. How awful. Reward 20,000. Yeah, and then it just goes through what I've been through. So his phone was live on the network until 6:44 a.m. Now, I wonder what so Jack's phone was still active and placed him at an address at 5:40 a.m. in the Granby Hill area. Now, wonder what he was doing there. Who was that? So they must have that address, the police. So they must have interviewed the people there. This is what I mean. The police will know some more things than we know. Where did he go? Why did he go to that address? You know, was the danger awaiting him there at that address? This is what he was wearing. There's his jacket, shoes, jumper, etc. Green khaki Barber jacket, brown Ralph Lauren trainers, navy blue chinos, and a cream knit lamb's wool jumper. And these are the items this is important, isn't it? So these are the items that he had on his person. So he had a black card holder, his driving license, his house key, an AirTag in a brown case, a grey iPhone 11 in a red silicone case, a Boss watch, a Monzo debit card, and a Peugeot 108 key fob. I wonder why he had his car keys with him, because he wasn't driving. He was walking. But anyway, so these are images. These are not the actual items, obviously, because he's still got them with him. But That's interesting. So if you're in the Bristol area and if you find anything like this, or you have found, or you know of anybody who's found Princess Tia, I wonder if you can see her. Can you see Princess Tia there? She's listening to me to the video. Let's see if you can see. I don't know if you can see. You can probably just see her. Hi, Carla. There she is. Oh, you're so cute, and you're so cute. Yes, you are. So cute. Hi, Darren. Darren, sorry. Hi, Darren. Yeah, so these are the items he had with him. So maybe one of the items will turn up. Obviously, his driving license and his Monzo card, they'll have his name on them as well. So yeah, it's funny that it's come to an absolute standstill. Is he in the river, and has he been swept out to sea? So here's the timeline. 1 a.m. he messaged his parents with plans to get a taxi. 3:17 a.m. is his last confirmed sighting of Jack on CCTV walking into the grass area at the junction of Brunel Lotway and Brunel Way. 3:24 a.m. he attempted to call his friend who was still there at the party. 3:25 there's a likely sighting of Jack on the Plimsoll Bridge heading towards Bristol city centre. 3:30 a.m. his friend called back, but the call was disconnected after Jack said hello. So, did his battery go? Did somebody disconnect it? You know, was he mugged? You know, he had quite a bit of stuff on him, really, the muggers, you know, the iPhone, etc. Don't know if he had any money in his pocket or whatever, but, you know, had like designer trainers, etc. If we look at the items he had, you can see that they would be useful to a mugger. His watch, Boss watch, the iPhone especially. I mean, the other things won't be any good, but yeah. And as far as his clothes was concerned, he had brown Ralph Lauren. Well, you know, people have been mugged for less than a pair of trainers, haven't they? Designer trainers. Then at 3:39 a.m. he was last seen walking along Bennett Way. 3:40 he was seen on CCTV walking up Bennett Way Slip Road, heading towards Hotwells. And then at 5 a.m. Jack's parents noticed he wasn't home yet, even though he told them earlier at 1 o'clock he'd said he was going to get a taxi. And then 5:40 his phone placed him at this address in the Granby Hill area. Granby Hill. Let's have a look. Where's the Granby Hill area? So he's sort of been all over, hasn't he? Where's the Granby Hill? There's another CCTV of him. I'd like to see where Granby Hill area is in. So you can see there is water all around here. You've got the Cumberland Basin, the River Avon. You know, it's a possibility, isn't it, that it's gone into the water. The one thing it's missing on there, though, is the address that his phone last pinged at. You know, where's that in connection to this map? So 6:44 a.m. his phone remained active on the network until this time. So at 5:40 his phone placed him at an address in the Granby Hill area, and at 6:44 that's when his phone pinged for the last time at well, I presume at that same address. So of course. Oh, there it is, Granby Hill, Granby Hill. This is Granby Hill. So it's all nearabouts, isn't it? So what was he doing there? And why was his phone pinging there? And why did it turn off? Why did he not answer his friend when he spoke? Did someone steal his phone? So yeah, that's a real mystery, isn't it? So how you can help: appeal for CCTV footage. If you have any footage, report this to the police by calling 101. You can distribute posters and flyers. And I do think, I do think they should, have they got any of the clothes? And they could do with a poster of the possessions, couldn't they? Because although people may not see Jack because of whatever might have happened to him, people may find his possessions, his credit, like they did with Riley Strain. They found his credit card, didn't they, on the bank of the river with his name on it. They may find his credit card, or they may find his key, or something like that. So it'd be a good idea, or his clothes, of course. So you can join the search. We organise regular group searches. The date and time of the next search will be listed at the top of this page and in our Facebook group. Oh, so they've got a Facebook group as well. I need to join that as well. I'm really going to concentrate on this case because we concentrated on Jay's case, and Jack's case deserves the same attention, doesn't it? If you wish to look on your own, above all, please stay safe. Avoid any dangerous areas around water, busy roads, or cliff faces. Oh my God, are the cliffs there as well? The map below shows areas that have already been searched. If you search a particular area alone, please let us know where you've been so we can keep the map updated. Oh, so, oops. So yeah, so this is where the searches have been. There's the Clifton Suspension Bridge, which of course is where those suitcases were found with the remains in them. No wonder the police had to speak immediately to Jack's family to put their mind at rest that it was not him in one of those cases, because it's so close to where it's all happening, isn't it? Yeah. Let's have a look. So for those of you who don't know where Bristol is, that's where it is in the UK. It's in the south, not that far from London. Seems to have been a lot of cases there lately. I don't know. Gosh. Let me just go back. So that's where their search is concentrating, around the areas that Jack was last seen, around the water, etc. But of course, his phone pinged at that address. So his phone went to that address anyway. So share Jack's story until Jack is found. We must keep his story in the public eye. Please help us to do this by talking to friends and continuing to share our social media links. Well, I definitely will be doing that. Definitely will be doing that. Who to contact? Yeah. Oh, there's an email there. I may email them actually and just ask if there's anything they want me in particular to put on the channel, etc. Because yeah, and it's a very useful website. See, I didn't know about that website. Maybe they haven't publicised it enough. I don't mean that as a criticism. It's just that sometimes people aren't very good at at social media or communications, if you like. Some people are better at it than others. So I don't know who's controlling this website, etc. So they've got a GoFundMe. It's £31,000 in this GoFundMe if you want to donate. They had a £30,000 target and they've raised £31,000. Okay, I'm just going to go over now to what his brother has to say about this. The last thing I'm going to do in this video, but I'm going to do regular videos about Jack. We're going to help if we can to find Jack. You know, deserves the publicity. His family deserve the publicity. Hi, Shelley. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Queen Kate. Okay. Oh, Carla, I remember that when, yeah, people used to go on milk cartons, didn't they, or milk bottles. And here in Spain, they put missing people on ATMs, which I think is a brilliant idea, you know, where people take the money out at cash points. And Jay Slater was on the cash points in Spain, not only in Tenerife, but in the whole of Spain. Because when they put out a missing persons alert, it just thought, you know, same with Anna Knezovic. They're on the ATMs. They flash up on ATMs. Of course, there's a lot of missing people. So, and then when they're deactivated, you know, when they're found or it's resolved, then they're taken off the ATM. But yeah, I remember when they used to go on milk. I don't know why. Yeah, yeah, they have big billboards as well, don't they? In America, these big billboards. Maybe they should use some of their maybe they should use some of their GoFundMe money and put up a great big billboard, you know, because you don't really see that much in the UK, do you, for missing people? They don't do it in Spain either. But they do it in America. It's a brilliant idea, really, because that you can be sure people will see it. You know, people don't often notice missing persons posters, and or also they blow down, don't they, or they get taken down, or you know, because there's always some fool who'll go and take it down. Whereas if you had a great big billboard, you know, that to me, I think that's a really good idea. But I don't know if you're even allowed to do that in the UK. But seems to me it would be a good idea in Bristol there to use some of the GoFundMe money, you know, to put up a billboard. So when do you live near Bristol? Yeah, it sounds like he was walking around those, reminded me a bit of Spaghetti Junction, sort of like in Manchester we have those sort of places as well in the town centre. You know, and then there's those horrible tunnels you have to walk through to go underneath. In Spain, there tend to be bridges going over. But of course, where I live, it's not a busy place anyway, so I don't really know what it's like in the centre of Madrid or whatever. I'm trying to think. Well, it's subway. They've got a subway in Madrid anyway, so yeah. Well, it's, you know, if you know, it's always good when you know the area. Anyway, let's have a look at what his brother had to say. So, Jack O'Sullivan, why the missing student's brother visits his last known route daily. Well, you would, wouldn't you? You'd walk there every day, I think. So, for 10 weeks, Ben O'Sullivan's days have been spent visiting a Bristol flyover, looking for his brother. Jack. It's a chihuahua again. How many chihuahuas out there? Tia. Hey, stop. He hasn't been seen since 2nd of March when he was pictured walking along a grassy area near Brunel Lock Way in the Hot Wells area. Ben's trying to imagine what Jack, who's 4 years younger, might have been doing and where he might have gone after leaving a party in the early hours. We know he went to a pub in town and then he went on with a few friends to house party in Hot Wells. Ben, who's 27, tells BBC Newsbeat, there's been a lot of unanswered questions since then. Is this a video about it? So just wait for the advert. I don't know if this is a video of him talking about it. Could be something completely different. Oh no, it's just an ad for Nescafe. But going down there on BBC, But going down there has provided us a way of trying to get to the bottom of everything. So this has become a daily routine almost. The last confirmed sighting of the 23-year-old student was at 3:13 GMTV. But a couple of weeks ago, there was a possible breakthrough when CCTV picked up a figure walking over Plimsoll Bridge about 10 minutes later, and then again walking along Bennett Way at 3:38. And Avon and Somerset police told Newsbeat these were likely sightings of Jack. Well, there's nobody around, is it? It looks very eerie, doesn't it? Anyway, evidence from his phone reveals he tried to call a friend who was still at the party. 10 minutes later, the friend called back, but the call was disconnected before Jack had said more than hello. That seems odd, doesn't it? And as we know, Jack had been living at home with his parents, noticed he wasn't home by 5, even though he'd messaged them at 1 with plans to get a taxi. It sounds suspicious, doesn't it? It seems like maybe someone's taken his phone. So his phone remained active on the Find My Friends app until 6:44. It was just very, very out of character, says his brother Ben, who describes him as a very smart, loving individual. He's a best friend of mine, not just a brother. Immediately, the family sensed something was wrong, and before they called the police, Ben came from his home in nearby Clifton, asking people living near the party to check their doorbell cameras for any sightings. And ever since then, it's been every day, he says. It's been very, very tough just trying to piece together information. Just must be awful. Sunday was one of the toughest days so far when Ben's club, Arsenal, Ben, well, at least Manchester United is better than Arsenal, took on Jack's beloved Manchester United in the Premier League. We would always be watching that game together, says Ben, and for the first time not being able to do that, it was strange. That really hit home. That made him more determined than ever to get answers, continuing his daily ritual of trying to trace Jack's steps that night. It's so surreal, says Ben. It's like a puzzle, but having your brother at the forefront of it, it's horrifying. But I'm determined, my family's determined to get the answers that we need. Avon and Somerset police told Newsbeat its officers had recently reviewed more than 100 hours of CCTV, sent specialist dive teams to comb the River Avon, and dog teams to search the local area. We're still asking for the public's help in reviewing and supplying us with any relevant CCTV, vehicle dashcam, doorbell or mobile phone footage. Officers are particularly focusing on Brunel Way, Brunel Lock Road, Junction Swing Bridge, Plimsoll Swing Bridge, and the Portway. When Ben's been to the Bennett Way flyover, he imagines all the drivers that might have seen his younger brother above the busy road. Or it didn't look very busy at that time, did it? But police had told him around 400 vehicles would have passed underneath in the time period of the last sightings. So we're really just trying to appeal to anyone. Any little bit of information could be useful, he said. So Detective Inspector Chidgey says Jack's family is going through an unimaginable ordeal, and officers are committed to supporting them. Detectives are getting help from independent experts too, he adds, to try and identify any lines of inquiry we still need to progress. And for Ben, while the family waits for more information about what happened to Jack that night, the theories and potential outcomes are endless. It's hard to come to terms with it just because of what's outstanding, he says. Until we have concrete answers, no potential option is out of the question. The hope comes from the fact that this is very open-ended. And until things are closed off, we're not going to let it rest. Okay, so that's what we know so far about Jack. Yeah, funny that it hasn't attracted the same attention, isn't it, as the Jay Slater case. You know, it's just as mysterious, really, isn't it? And it's a home, you know, for people from the UK. It's a case in the UK. So yeah, it's strange. Maybe anyway, I don't know. I don't know what makes one case more sort of relevant or newsworthy or whatever than another, but we're going to stick with Jack's story, and if I hear any updates I'll let you know. But I'm going to try and look into it a bit more, maybe email the that email and see if there's anything that they particularly want to be said on the channel, etc. Let's hope Jack's found soon, and of course we'd like to think that it'd be found safe and well, but you know, experience tells us that that doesn't really happen unless Jack did just decide, you know, to go off and, you know, start a new life somewhere. It's always possible, I suppose. It's always possible. Okay, so I'm going. So I'll be on the members live later. We'll be talking about this Strictly Come Dancing fiasco. And the reason that I decided to do about that, I just wanted to leave true crime aside just for one night, do something completely different. But oh my God, it's turning it, you know, just from delving into it and investigating it a bit. It's right, you know, it's got another mystery, you know, what. So it'd be interesting to see what you all think about the Strictly Come Dancing fiasco. Have these people been bullied, or have, you know, is it just, you know, why are they coming out with it now as well? What's the motives for them? Do you think they genuinely have been bullied, or do you think they're sort of just being too sensitive? You know, I really don't know. I'd like to know what everybody else thinks. Hi Yvonne. Oh, I'm just finishing now, but I'll see you later. I'll see you in an hour, more or less in an hour. We'll be talking Strictly Come Dancing. So thank you. Don't forget to leave your DNA on the like button, please. And I think we'll go out this tonight with the picture of Jack. I'll put a little bit of music on. So I'll see you really soon in the next video, and until then, may your God go with you. Adios.